Good evening and welcome to the December 15th Pitt County Board of Commissioners meeting. Thank you for being with us tonight. We're going to call our meeting to order and we'll have roll call. Okay, if everyone would please stand, and we're going to have the invocation and then we'll ask the cadets to come up for the pledge. Father God, thank you for this day that you've given us. Thank you for your love, your mercy, your grace. And Lord, as we make decisions tonight, Lord, for the citizens of this county, Lord, we just pray that we do it in a way that's pleasing to you. And Lord, we'll give you the praise and the honor and that goes along with it. And we just thank you, Lord, for all that you do and all of your blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Cadet Daniels, if you'd come up.
Good evening, everyone. I am Cadet Daniels. I've been doing JRTC now for 2 years. I'm the battalion sergeant major. My plans for high school is to attend college for a few years, and I'd like to join the Army. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Okay, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Madam Manager, do we have any public addresses?
You have 3 people signed up to speak. If the attorney would read the statement.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Pitt County welcomes all comments on matters of public concern. Each speaker will be allowed up to 3 minutes to speak. A total of 30 minutes is set aside for public addresses to the board. Please state your name and address prior to speaking.
And first signed up is Jerry McRoy.
Don't start the time of year. I just want to tell you, very festive looking group tonight, but none of you can outdo Miss Mary. She's particularly festive. Jerry McRoy, I live at 1017 Vanguard Drive, Winterville, North Carolina. And my comments tonight, if I can go ahead and start now. Good evening, commissioners. I trust you all are enjoying a meaningful Christmas season with your friends and families. As we approach the end of another year, I thank you for your service to the county and to your constituents. It's a hard word sometimes. I come tonight to speak to you regarding an issue which I hope you will agree to change. I believe it to be something which should have been addressed long ago, but unfortunately has not been. Sometimes things that require attention just have not risen to the surface. And we have so many things on our plate. The issue is the absence of "In God We Trust" in our Pitt County courthouse courtrooms. I first noticed this when attending a meeting several years ago in Superior Courtroom Number 1. I had not been in a Pitt County courtroom for over 40 years and was taken back when I did not see "In God We Trust" over the judge's bench. Perhaps I'm a bit naive, but since I always saw "In God We Trust" on courtroom walls while watching programs on television and in movies, I thought the phrase was on courtrooms all across our great nation. After all, it is our national motto. I challenge you to reach into your wallet or pocketbook and pull out a coin or bill of any denomination. Upon inspection, you'll notice that the national motto of "In God We Trust" is engraved or printed on whatever piece of currency you choose. It's interesting to note that the phrase has been on U.S. coinage since the Civil War era. And the phrase was added to our paper currency after legislation was passed by the U.S. Congress in 1956 and signed into law by President Dwight Eisenhower. In biblical times, the chosen people of God, the Israelites, were guided by the laws of God, which came down in the 10 Commandments. Many of the laws that guide our society today can find their origins in that original set of laws. At the beginning of your meetings, you start with an invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Within that pledge, you'll note the words, "One nation under God." By the way, I always thought this was a very fitting way to begin your meetings. So please consider starting actions tonight to add the national motto of "In God We Trust" back to our Pitt County courtrooms. Wouldn't it be wonderful if an accused perpetrator would look upon these words and perhaps be moved to change their direction in life? Thank you for your consideration, and may God richly bless you this holiday season.
Thank you, Mr. McRoy.
Linda Robinson.
Good evening, Linda Robinson, Greenville, 27858. Best Day Commissioners and Madam County Manager, when Sheriff Paula Dance was elected in 2018, her salary was less than the East Carolina University Police Chief. In 2019, the Pitt County Board of Commissioners made the correct decision to adjust the salary for the office of the sheriff to a more competitive rate. 2026 is an election year, and although I am very confident the citizens of Pitt County will re-elect Sheriff Paula Dance a third term to continue the outstanding job she has done, there is a concern that the salary for the sheriff is a fixed salary for an unclassified position, which means if an underqualified person is elected to the position of sheriff, they will begin at the same salary Sheriff Dance with 30 years of experience in the sheriff department, as well as a salary she has both earned and fought very diligently to obtain. This would be a travesty of justice. We are recommending the Pitt County Board of Commissioners join the 74 of 100 counties in the state of North Carolina and assign a salary range to the position of sheriff. In 2024, it was shared with me that a grade 88 has a salary range of $137,968 to $218,056. If the board is willing to put the position within this salary range, a newly elected sheriff with no experience would not start at the same salary as a seasoned, proven sheriff. We are asking the Board of Commissioners to strongly consider making this change. Thank you for your consideration, and have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson.
Wade Wilson.
Good evening, folks. Wade Wilson, live in Greenville, zip code 27834. I'm here on behalf of myself and only myself, and I want to first wish everyone a happy holiday season, happy soon-to-be New Year, and may God bless all of us. Morality matters, honesty matters, and competence matters. It matters for me, it matters for y'all, it matters for the audience, matters for friends, strangers. Morality, honesty, and competence matter for all of us, including the President of the United States. 2026 is going to be a hard year for rural America. Local budgets are getting squeezed. Consumer prices are going up. Healthcare will be less accessible. Extreme weather events will be more common. This is not by accident. These are problems that can be directly attributed to policy decisions made at all levels of government, and most specifically by our federal government. We can ask for better. We deserve better. We will need to work for better. Be kind to one another. Choose leaders who are moral, honest, and competent, and hold accountable the ones who are not, including and especially if it's the President of the United States. God bless you all, and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Before we move on to presentations, I just want to recognize a few people that are in our audience. We have Judge Foster with us tonight. Thank you, sir, for being with us. We have Councilwoman Portia Willis from Greenville with us tonight. I saw her somewhere. There you go. things in our way. And then we also have Neil Driver, who is the chairman of the Pitt County Board of Elections. Thank you for being with us tonight. All right, presentations. I didn't miss anybody, did I? Okay, stand up for us. I don't think we've recognized her before. She's with us tonight? Yes. Okay. And who?
Edsel Mason.
Ms. Mason, stand up. Thank you for being with us tonight, Board of Elections. All right, we'll move on to presentations, Madam Manager.
Yes, if the board will approve items 2 through 6 before we go down, then we'll have a series to do down front.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Please vote.
As we're making our way down front, the first recognition will be Connie Barnes, our Employee of the Month, if you'd come forward. Connie, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, Connie Barnes. She's right on that black spot. I'm gonna set these down right here. Yep, and face this way. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. In March of 2022, we started the Employee of the Month program. This program recognizes employees who go the extra mile to embrace our mission and values and allows us to shine a spotlight on our outstanding teammates. I'm pleased to present our 45th Employee of the Month, Connie Barnes, with Social Services. She has been with Pitt County for 20 years and has worked her way up to being a program manager in the Income Maintenance Division. Connie's nominator said, Miss Connie has stepped in and completely transformed the Food and Nutrition Redetermination Department. As our supervisor, she not only assisted with processing cases, but also motivated the team to work efficiently and stay on track. Since she became supervisor and now program manager, we have consistently met timeliness standards. The FNS redetermination team has met all monthly deadlines with no overdue cases. Thank you, Connie, for being a model for others and for improving departmental performance. To thank you, we have direct deposited $100 into your bank account, and we will have the chairman present you with this certificate of recognition.
Connie, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, congratulations.
Thank you.
Open that up for a picture. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You too. Next up, we have recognition of the Aiden Grifton volleyball team. If members of the team would come forward. And I have down here. Actually, I'm going to read this first.
And we got the principal and the athletic director.
Fantastic.
Why don't you guys
Please
come on up?
forward. Yep, and if you'll all gather around. This is great attendance. Okay, it is my pleasure this evening to read a resolution adopted by the Board of Commissioners entitled Pitt County Board of Commissioners Resolution of Recognition Honoring the 2025 Aiden Grifton Chargers Girls Volleyball Team. And it reads, whereas the Aiden Grifton High School Chargers Girls Volleyball Team achieved an extraordinary milestone by winning the 2025 NCHSAA 3A State Championship, earning the program's first ever state title. And whereas the Chargers demonstrated exceptional athletic skill, teamwork, and determination throughout the season, culminating in a 3-0 sweep over Pine Lake Prep to secure the championship victory. And whereas the team completed an outstanding season with an overall record of 27-7 and an undefeated 10-0 conference record, showcasing consistent excellence and competitive dominance. And whereas the Chargers claimed the Eastern Regional Championship, securing their place in the state final and further establishing themselves as one of the most formidable teams in the state. And whereas the players, coaches, and support staff of Aiden Grifton High School have brought honor and pride to their school, their families, and community, through their hard work, discipline, and sportsmanship. We list out the name of the members of the volleyball team and their coaches, which we'll read individually in just a minute. And then it reads, now therefore be it resolved that the Pitt County Board of Commissioners hereby honors and recognizes the Ayden-Grifton High School Chargers girls volleyball team for their historic achievement in winning the 2025 NCHSAA 3A State Championship and extends its sincere congratulations to all players, coaches, and supporters who contributed to this remarkable season. Adopted this 15th day of December 2025, signed by Mark C. Smith, Chairman, Pitt County Board of Commissioners, and attested by Kimberly Hines, Clerk to the Board. If you would present this, Mr. Chairman, framed resolution to the
On
coach.
behalf of the Board of Commissioners, congratulations on an outstanding year. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And for each of we have certificates. I know not everybody could be here with us tonight, but I'm going to go through them, and if I want to call your name, if the chairman will pass it to you. KP Olajar.
Congratulations.
Adeline Mancuso. Charlie Rose.
Congratulations.
Ashlyn Overby. Olivia Baker. Reagan Wainwright. Olivia Evans. Layla Waters. Kenzie Letchworth. Madison House. Thank you. Lainey Evans. Addison Perry. Aisha Carver. Janiyah Sherman.
Congratulations.
Kellen Hill,
Congratulations.
daughter of our very own Jonas Hill. Annalie Mancuso. Nicole Waters. And Alexia Bryant. Round of applause. Thank you so much. And if we could squeeze in for a picture, you need 2 lines.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. And if we could have the J.H. Rose Rampants girls volleyball team come forward. Welcome. In a similar fashion, we are thrilled to recognize your performance this year with a resolution titled Pitt County Board of Commissioners Resolution of Recognition honoring the 2025 J.H. Rose Rampants girls volleyball team. And it reads, whereas the J.H. Rose High School girls volleyball team achieved an extraordinary milestone during the 2025 season by capturing the NCHSAA 6A Volleyball State Championship. And whereas on November 25th, 2025, the J.H. Rose Rampants defeated Watauga High School in a thrilling, hard-fought 5-set champion match, securing victory with a final score of J.H. Rose 3, Watauga 2. And whereas the team's determination, sportsmanship, skill, and commitment to excellence were clearly demonstrated throughout the season, and especially during the intense state title match. And whereas the players, coaches, and support staff of J.H. Roche High School exemplify the highest standards of teamwork and dedication, bringing pride and recognition to their school, families, and the entire Pitt County community. And whereas the Pitt County Board of Commissioners acknowledges the countless hours of practice, preparation, and perseverance that contributed to this historic accomplishment. We list out the name of each member on the team and the coaches: Clay Medlin, head coach; Ashton Barbie, assistant coach; and Jackson Blizzard, assistant coach. And then it reads, now therefore be it resolved that the Pitt County Board of Commissioners formally recognizes and congratulates the 2025 J.H. Rose High School girls volleyball team for winning the 2025 NCHSAA 6A Volleyball State Championship, and commends the athletes and coaches for their exceptional performance and representation of Pitt County, adopted this 15th day of December 2025, signed by Mark Smith, Chairman, Pitt County Chair of the Board of Commissioners, and Kimberly Hines, Clerk to the Board. Mr. Chairman, if you would present that.
Awesome. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, congratulations on an outstanding season. Clay?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank
And then we know many couldn't come today, but we'll run through these certificates, and when I call your name, come up and get them, and we'll get the others where they need to go. Ann Price Duke. Caroline Bays. Clara Allen. Thank you.
Congratulations.
This batch is sticky. Maggie Jarman. Francie Taft. Taylor Losner. Madison Long.
Congratulations.
Jericho Lineberger.
Congratulations.
Maya Swaggerty. Marlene Lawrence. Mia Kendrick.
Congratulations.
Kate Wallen.
Congratulations, Kate.
Clara Evans. Brianna Joyner. Campbell Rhodes. Kara Morris. Jamie Howard. Piper Cartwright.
Congratulations.
And the remainder of the team will just read off their names: Ella Stallings, Madison Warren, Clay Medlin,
Congratulations, Clay.
Coach Barbie, Ashton Barbie, and Jackson Blizzard.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Round of applause. And we'll squeeze in for a picture. Can you get us all, or do you need 2 rows? Got us? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Next, we have a resolution honoring Bishop Rosie O'Neill on the occasion of her retirement. She sent her regrets from being here in person, but I understand that Ms. Portia and Luther will come forward to accept this on her behalf. Thank you so much for being here. This resolution reads, Resolution honoring Bishop Rosie S. O'Neill on the occasion of her retirement. And it reads, whereas Bishop Rosie S. O'Neill is the founder and senior pastor of Koinonia Christian Center in Greenville, North Carolina, a congregation she established in 1989 and has faithfully served for 36 years. And whereas under Bishop O'Neill's leadership, Koinonia Christian Center has grown to become one of the largest congregations in Pitt County, with more than 2,500 members, and has expanded its ministry into significant community outreach, educational programs, and civic engagement. And whereas Bishop O'Neill provides oversight for the Koinonia Fellowship of Churches and Ministries, extending her influence and guidance across North Carolina and beyond. And whereas Bishop O'Neill announced her official retirement effective December 2025, with celebratory events scheduled for December 12th to the 14th, marking a meaningful milestone in her ministry and service. And whereas throughout her distinguished tenure, Bishop O'Neill has supported programs that uplift families, youth, and underserved residents, worked collaboratively with local leaders to support the growth and vitality of Greenville, Pitt County, and the state of North Carolina, and has been recognized nationally as an example of strong faith, civic leadership, and community service. And whereas resolutions are issued to honor exceptional leaders whose impact extends countywide or beyond, and Bishop O'Neill's influence, ministry, and service are widely regarded as having strengthened the spiritual, social, and civic well-being of the entire community. And whereas her recognition aligns with the mission of the Pitt County Human Relations Committee to promote unity, celebrate diversity, and honor contributions that strengthen community relations. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pitt County Board of Commissioners hereby honors Bishop Rosie S. O'Neill for her extraordinary leadership, devoted service, and lifelong commitment to faith and the betterment of Pitt County and its residents, adopted this 15th day of December 2025, signed by Chairman Mark C. Smith and attested by Kimberly Hines, Clerk to the Board. If you would present that, Mr. Chairman.
Thank y'all for standing in for her tonight.
Absolutely.
Please let her know on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we congratulate her.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And squeeze in for a picture if you would like.
Go to the left.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you
Yes.
all.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. The next recognition we have, Mr. Chairman, is a resolution of appreciation honoring Benji Holloman for his service as chair. He prefers that it not be read and presented to him, if you will just present it in simple fashion.
Thank you, Commissioner.
So don't fling it over here.
We
Just hand it.
appreciate your leadership last year.
And finally, a resolution from the Pitt County Board of Commissioners appreciating Mary Perkins Williams for her role as vice chair. Will you come down for it to be read, please?
She didn't bring anybody else a headpiece.
I would do it if I could find
I
it.
wish you'd brought Benji one. We would have made him wear it.
Glad you did.
It has been a packed year of accomplishments. And so bear with me as I read a resolution of appreciation honoring Mary Perkins Williams as vice chair. It starts, whereas Mary Perkins Williams has faithfully and effectively served as vice chair of the Pitt County Board of Commissioners from December 2024 to December 2025, providing steadfast leadership, thoughtful guidance, and an unwavering commitment to the citizens of Pitt County. And whereas during her tenure as vice chair, Pitt County celebrated several major achievements, including the grand openings of both community centers, enhancing public access to programs, activities, and vital community services. And whereas the board, with her support, recognized the need to initiate the design phase for a new administrative building to ensure efficient delivery of services and to support the long-term operational needs of the county. And whereas Pitt County had the honor of hosting the 2025 North Carolina Association of County Commissioners Conference, highlighting the county's strong reputation for collaboration, innovation, and regional and statewide engagement. And whereas Vice Chair Perkins Williams played an important role in advancing the Pitt County Strategic Planning Initiative, setting a clear direction for future growth, development, and community priorities. And whereas she supported the establishment of crucial justice-related programs, including the Veterans Treatment Court and the RISE program with the Pitt County Detention Center, both designed to address the needs of vulnerable individuals and improve pathways to rehabilitation. And whereas Pitt County strengthened its economic base by welcoming major employers such as Boviet Solar and Nipro Medical Corporation, bringing new jobs and investment to the region, and joined fellow commissioners in celebrating long-standing local businesses, honoring Hammock Source, Mr. Beast, and North State Steel for their economic and cultural contributions to Pitt County. And whereas the board, with her support, approved rezoning for the development of a potential megasite in northern Pitt County, expanding opportunities for industrial recruitment and long-term economic growth. And whereas Vice Chair Perkins Williams helped guide the county in making record-setting investments in Pitt County schools and Pitt Community College, strengthening educational attainment and workforce readiness, and further advanced community well-being through a partnership with the City of Greenville on affordable housing initiatives, increasing opportunities for quality, accessible housing. And whereas she supported significant improvements to public safety and emergency response systems, including initiation of a fire feasibility study, upgrades to EMS infrastructure and equipment, and modernization of 911 center technology. And whereas Pitt County successfully partnered with Greenville Utilities Commission to install a water line in the Whitehurst Station area, enhancing water reliability, safety, and infrastructure capacity for residents in that service area. And whereas the county continued to promote agricultural engagement by expanding farmers market hours and experiencing productive seasons at both the farmers market and community garden. And whereas the county improved public facility operations with new security screening equipment at the courthouse, enhancing safety for employees and visitors. And whereas Vice Chair Perkins Williams supported numerous technology advancements and modernized county services, including introduction of our chatbot Easton on the county website, implementation of the enterprise permitting and licensing tools within inspections, environmental health and planning, deployment of NeoGov in human resources, adoption of Forerunner for floodplain management, and continued progress on launching the new county website. And whereas throughout her tenure as Vice Chair, Perkins Williams has exemplified integrity, foresight, and dedication to improving the quality of life for all Pitt County residents by serving on various boards and committees, such as the Greenville ENC Alliance, Mideast Commission, Shepherd Memorial Library Board, and Social Services Board. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pitt County Board of Commissioners formally recognizes Vice Chair Mary Perkins Williams for her remarkable leadership and her many meaningful contributions to Pitt County government and the broader community, adopted this 15th day of December 2025, signed by Mark C. Smith, Chairman, and attested by Kimberly Hines, Clerk to the Board.
I've been trying to keep a straight face, but those Christmas trees have just been dancing around your head. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we thank you for your leadership last year.
Put you on that black line. And we'll get a picture.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Manager Gallagher, for this privilege and honor. Couldn't have done it without the chair. I appreciate it. Y'all want me to take my
No, I want you to leave it on.
You make sure that
I want you to leave it on.
my characteristics out.
It
Thank
does.
you.
Right to Samantha.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Well done. That concludes our presentations down front. And then as we return to our chairs, I would invite Elsa with Martin Stearns to come forward, or Michael Hardy. Michael Hardy and Elsa Swenson.
Good evening. We have done the actual 2025 annual financial report. This presentation is going to provide a high-level overview of what has happened in fiscal year 25. This is Elsa Swenson. She's our in charge for our audit team, and she's going to go over the actual presentation. If there's any questions regarding some of the items on the presentation, if you'll please just hold them till the end. Thank you.
Good evening. On behalf of Martin Stearns and Associates, I'd like to present Pitt County's 2025 audited financial statements. Some audit highlights. The county received an unmodified opinion. This is a clean audit opinion. I'd like to thank all the staff of Pitt County that we have worked with this year throughout the audit process. Everyone that we've worked with has been wonderful at providing the information that we needed for the audit, and it's given to us timely and accurately, and we greatly appreciate that working relationship. And I would like to note before getting into the numbers that this information is draft only at this point. There was a delay at the federal level with the government shutdown that delayed the compliance supplement that is required for us to finalize the compliance portion of the audit. So that process is ongoing. The Local Government Commission has extended the deadline through February 12th. So this will be ongoing, but these are the numbers that we have as of this date. Your total fund balance for the year for the general fund was $105.6 million. You had non-spendable items of $397,000 and items restricted by state statute of $14.3 million. This gives you an available fund balance of $90.9 million. This is an increase in your available fund balance of $11.9 million, mostly as a result of an increase in your overall fund balance from the prior year. Your available fund balance for the general fund was $90.9 million. You had net expenditures of $209 million. And then your fund balance as a percent of your net expenditures was 43.5. The minimum required by the LGC is 16%. Your revenues for the year for the general fund were $216.7 million. And that was an increase of about 10% over the prior year. You had expenditures of $195.5 million, an increase of about 6% there. I will detail these further along in the presentation. Your major revenues for the general fund were your property taxes at 62% of total revenues. You had restricted intergovernmental revenues, your federal and state grants of 12%. Other taxes and licenses were 15%, and you had other revenues of 11%. Property taxes came in at $133.9 million, an increase of about 14% there. Other taxes and licenses were $32.1 million, an increase of about 4%. Most of these are due to your local option sales tax. Your restricted intergovernmental revenues, which are your federal and state grants, were $26.9 million, a decrease of about 3%, but overall comparable to prior years. Your major expenditure categories for the general fund were public safety at 28%, education 31%, human services 27%, and other expenditures made up 14%. Education had expenditures of $60.1 million, an increase of about 3% overall comparable to the prior years. Public safety expenditures were $53.8 million, an increase of about 6%, again comparable to prior years. Human services had expenditures of $52.4 million, an increase of 11%. This is due to salary increases and increases in the foster care and state county special assistance programs. Your quick ratio for the solid waste fund was 4.73. The LGC would be concerned if this were less than 1. And your cash flow for operations, you did not have any debt service for the solid waste. Your cash flow less debt service was $1.6 million, and the LGC would be concerned if this were a negative number. Your general performance indicators, there was a finding this year for the foster care, adoption, and guardianship program. There were 2 cases that did not have adequate documentation to support the eligibility determination. And then once the report has been submitted to the LGC, you can submit the letter explaining this corrective action that is required by the LGC. Your positive general performance indicators were general fund available fund balance percentage was positive. You had timely audit. You will have timely audit submissions since the deadline has been extended through February 12th. And then your stable property tax valuation and collection percentages were stable as well. And this does conclude my presentation. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you so much. Do I
Thank
hear a
you.
motion to accept this presentation? Got a motion and a second? Okay, moving on to items for report. Michael Hardy, monthly financial report.
It's actually available on the screen. Okay. It's actually available on the screen. Or just. Okay. If you'll just please refer to in your packet the actual financial report. This is actually the report ended November. So you'll see right at the top, we're at 41.67% of the year. So this is a good key indicator as far as looking down through the 25-26 figures as far as revenues. You can see in our general fund had revenues right at 48%. Through the end of November. So you can see currently at 42%, the revenues are at 48%, the expenses or expenditures at the same time are at 38%. So you see that the revenues are outweighing currently what's collected, what's received versus what's being spent right now. So you can see that comparatively to last year. You can see for 24-25, we had collective 51.1% through the end of November. So a slight decrease going from last year to this year. But once again, some of the timing of the tax payments, they can come in at different times. So we could see a batch of those come in that would get us up to that similar rate. And then once again, you'll see for comparing 24-25 to 25-26, you can see the actual expenditures of what we've spent through the end of November are going from last year to this year to be very close in percentage-wise. So being a very balanced spending level going from last year to this year. Then solid waste fund down below, you can see the actual revenues for 25-26. Right now, we're currently at 62.4%, so it's a little ahead of last year. Once again, you can see right beside it what we've spent to date, 39.2% of the budget's been spent on an expenditure basis. So, but still, you can see that the revenues right now are exceeding the actual expenditures. So comparing it to last year, you can see that the revenues are right at 59% last year. So we're a little up comparing from going from last year to this year in revenues and increase. And then going for the actual expenditures from 24-25 to 25-26, you can see a slight decrease going from the 42.6% spent to only at 39.2%. So close from a standpoint of looking budgetary, going from last year to this year is very similar. Then lastly, looking down at the EMS fund, going from 24, or really 25, we'll start with the revenues. You can see that the year-to-date percentage collected is right at 46.4%. You can see it's slightly down from last year of looking at the revenues only for going from 24-25 to 25-26. There was a catch-up in some of the actual EMS claims, moving to a new vendor, catching up with some of those claims. So we actually had an increased amount of collections in some of those claims. The reason why you can see the 24-25 to 25-26 of going from 6.7 million to 5.9, so a slight decrease, but that's mostly been catching up on some of those claims. Then lastly, you can see on the expenditure side for the EMS fund, moving from 5.1 million in 24-25 year at 45.5% percentage to right now we're a little at 6.367 million, 49.7%. This is simply some of the outstanding purchase orders we have on some of our actual transport vehicles. So that's a large percentage of that total increase in what we've spent to date, and being as a capital item, would not have that in a normal operating budget. So you can see there's a slight increase from last year to this year. Are there any questions with this report?
Any questions? Okay, thank you, Michael.
Do not ask this to be accepted as presented.
Do I hear a motion to approve the report? We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Next up is Russell with the tax collection report.
Good evening, Chairman Smith, Commissioners, Manager Gallagher. This evening I present to you the November tax collection report. The fiscal year combined tax collection rate through November 30th for real and personal property was 68.42%. The combined rate 1 year ago for real and personal property was 68.2%. Pitt County Tax Administration continues to pursue all outstanding taxes using the necessary remedies available through the North Carolina General Statute. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, it's my recommendation to approve the November tax collection report as presented.
Any questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval of the report. Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
All right, Madam Manager, you're up next.
All right. Your next meeting dates, January 12th and January 26th. On the 12th, the regular meeting at 6 p.m. in this room. On the 26th, a morning workshop beginning at 8:30, where we'll discuss strategic plan and your capital budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Item B, a reminder that we're closed for the Christmas holiday, December 24th through 26th, and closed for New Year's Day on January 1st of 2026. The next two items relate to Pitt County Economic Development. The first is to share, and Kelly Andrews is here in the audience to share that Pitt County Economic Development was recognized at an event in Greensboro on December 8th by the Chambers for Innovation and Clean Energy to recognize Pitt County Economic Development as this year's North Carolina Clean Energy Champion. And at that event, U.S. Senator Tom Tillis was the guest speaker, and Kelly and team were recognized for their excellence in leadership for supporting clean energy, economic investment, and job creation opportunities. So if we could, a round of applause for Kelly. And economic development is on a roll. They were also selected to receive a North Carolina Economic Development Association Fellow for their office this year. That is no cost to the county, and that fellow will be with us for a year period and will help us advance our business retention and expansion initiatives for the upcoming year. It was announced at the North Carolina Economic Development Association luncheon that was held in Raleigh. And also at that time, they announced that Shayla Douglas, our Assistant Economic Development Director, received a scholarship to continue her studies towards her National Economic Development Certification. And so we are thrilled to see that continued progress and recognition in economic development. Yes. Your next item is I wanted to provide an update for Behavioral Health Treatment Court. At your meeting, 2 meetings ago, you heard a presentation, you may recall, from Judge Wendy Hazelton, and she brought members of her team with her, and they were requesting $17,000 in funding for the continuation of Behavioral Health Treatment Court through the end of the fiscal year. They were also asking that their employee become a county employee in the new fiscal year, and that the board consider funding in the fiscal year 26-27 budget to maintain Behavioral Health Treatment Court services. And so after consultation with our leadership team, I reached out to, when we were successful in reaching out to Trillium, our mental health local management entity, for whom we pay a maintenance of effort amount each year of about $487,000, and we're required to pay that every year to support the operations of Trillium in their entire region. Of that maintenance of effort money, we currently allocate $40,000 towards drug treatment court, and that county money flows through Trillium and supports drug treatment court. We also send $22,500 through those Trillium maintenance of effort funds to support the Our Journey Home program through Pitt County Planning Department. So I reached out to Dave Peterson and his finance team, and Michael Hardy and I met with them, and they agreed to allow us to designate $17,000 from our maintenance of effort funds to support the urgent need of behavioral health treatment court for the remainder of this fiscal year. And we updated, Michael Hardy updated our maintenance of effort letter. So that's no new county dollars that will be expended, but the county dollars that we set aside for behavioral health treatment in our community, $17,000 will be earmarked for the remainder of this fiscal year for behavioral health treatment court. So I was pleased that we were able to resolve that problem, and that immediate problem. And then in terms of future funding for fiscal year 26-27 and whether or not they become county employees, that will be considered through your usual budget cycle. We'll receive a request and you will consider that during your budget workshops in the normal course of events. And I've notified that that funding will be deferred. I will, in full transparency, share that I thought this was a big win that I was going to be able to share with the board today. And then after I notified Behavioral Health Treatment Court that we crafted a solution, which was a fairly heavy lift, if I'm being honest, to craft. They said thank you and then got back to us advising that they had a miscalculation in their request and that they actually needed $24,905 and not $17,000. So a little bit of a disappointment after we attain that funding. I have communicated back to them and asked them if they would work diligently to cut that equivalent amount in expenditures in their program for the remainder of this fiscal year, or to seek that delta in funding from another source if they could, or for them to reach out directly to Trillium if they wanted to do that, because I didn't feel comfortable modifying the request at that point. So wanted to be fully transparent. I think we were successful in gaining $17,000 with no new county funds, but there is a small shortfall that they are still working to get should you hear about those efforts. Next item is just to make you aware that we have done a public information campaign, that it is tax listing time coming up. Tax Administration has started their annual List Your Taxes campaign. All taxpayers are required to list personal property owned as of January 1st between the 1st of January and the 31st of January. Any change in ownership to personal property must be reported with documented proof to the Tax Administration Office, NCDMV, or NC Wildlife. Information on how to list and what to list can be found on the Pitt County website. So if you had a boat last year, you need to list that boat again this year, or if you transferred that boat, you need to notify the appropriate folks with instructions on our website about how to do that. So just a reminder at this meeting, if commissioners hear from others, that we are notifying the public now to list your taxes for personal property by January 31st, 2026. Also, is Janet, questions on that? Okay, is Janet Turner, wonderful, is with us this evening. Please come forward, Janet. It is my pleasure for you to see a face and to meet Janet Turner, our new Pitt County Elections Director. And she is here. Yes. Janet Turner currently serves as our Deputy Director and was recommended by Dave Davis, our outgoing director, by the local Board of Elections and approved by the State Board of Elections to take over the helm upon Dave's departure. We are thrilled to have you here and on board. Yes, thank you so much. And then finally, if PIO will cue it up, just to end my manager's report, wanted to share with you and those who may be watching our year in review holiday card. Hi, I'm Janice Gallagher, Pitt County Manager. As we ring in 2026, let's reflect on Pitt County's growth, public service, and community success. New opportunities were realized with business expansions and celebrations of excellence. We celebrated grand openings for 2 community centers and new businesses in the medical, manufacturing, recycling technology, and pharmaceutical training industries. We launched our first strategic plan initiative, laying the blueprint and vision for a stronger future. Pitt County facilitated expansions in public broadband access, earned recognition as a national digital county and empowered our digital footprint. Our complete website redesign, paired with new online tools in permitting and inspections, human resources, and planning, improved accessibility, transparency, and efficiency for all. We honored excellence across departments, leaders, businesses, and fortified partnerships locally and statewide. Long-running and new programs focused on community needs and resilience. In 2025, our shared purpose in planned leadership, economic development, and community well-being will pave the way for a better year ahead. From our family to yours, have a safe and happy holiday season. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Manager. We'll move on to items for consent. Do I hear a motion to approve that? Got a motion and a second. Please vote. And we'll move on to items for discussion, and that is the display of the national motto in Superior courtrooms. Madam Manager.
Yes, this was an item for discussion requested by Commissioner Rochelle Brown, and I will turn the floor to her. You have information in your packet in addition to a packet of information that was placed at each of your settings.
Commissioner Brown?
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. If I may, just give a quick statement regarding why I've brought this to the agenda tonight. I bring forward a simple yet ceremonial and historical proposal that Pitt County proudly display the legal adoption of the national motto, "In God We Trust," in our Superior courtrooms. This phrase is not meant to be partisan, and it's not meant to be political. It's our nation's official motto, adopted by Congress and affirmed throughout our history as a reflection of the values that have guided this country. Our courtrooms are places where some of the most serious decisions affecting people's lives are made. And displaying "In God We Trust" serves as a very quiet reminder that justice requires integrity, authority, and comes with responsibility, and that no one, government included, is above a higher standard of truth and of fairness. Across North Carolina, counties, large and small, have already chosen to display this motto. So tonight, Pitt County has the opportunity to be the 72nd out of 100 counties who have already done this. Standing alongside these communities that honor our shared heritage while respecting individual beliefs. This is not about compelling faith. It's not about it is about acknowledging our history. It's about recognizing the foundation upon which our laws and our freedoms were built in this country. And it is about affirming that even positions of power are guided by principles that are much greater than ourselves. So I bring this to you tonight with a list of names who are stated that this is not the first time that this issue has actually been brought to this board. So I bring this to you as not as a request of myself, but as a request of my district and all of those who have reached out to me in Pitt County. It is how we start this meeting every single time with our invocation. It's how we build our lives with our currency and feed our families. And I ask that it be a reminder to all in a place where we need it most. Just to provide some updates, when I initially brought this request to the board, I did not request any new funds to pay for the estimates, which is a little shy of $2,000 for all three Superior courtrooms to have this. There were already funds allocated that went towards the courtrooms that had not been used. So that was the initial request. However, I wanted to provide an update, which I do believe is at each and every one of your seats up here. We have had an organization by the name of USMAC, which is an advocacy group for the national motto, actually approach us and say that they would like to cover the complete cost of this. Just a few stats regarding what USMAC has actually provided us. Over 122 entities have voted yes to display this. Over 275 plus displays have actually been permanently installed. 71 North Carolina counties and 51 town halls. In addition to providing these permanent displays on public buildings, some 69 plus sheriff departments, 40 plus police departments, 30 plus fire department fleets have installed over 3,500 In God We Trust reflective decals on their vehicles, and the list goes on from there. So I would like to personally thank just two people before I end this. Our Superior Court judge here in Pitt County, Judge Jeffrey Foster, for his support on this issue. Also, our former NC Superior Court Judge, Rusty Duke of Pitt County, asked that, he's not here tonight, but he did ask that I vocally share his support. And not only share his support, but it would be an honor if this were to move forward, if he could have the honor of assisting in the design to match the original decor that he was a part of in the renovation in 1999 to ensure modesty and cohesion of our current courtrooms. So, fellow commissioners, thank you so much for this opportunity to bring this to you. On behalf of all of those who have reached out to me, I appreciate you bringing this to the forefront. I would like to honor this request of our people in Pitt County, our history where no participation is required. It's a subtle yet simple reminder that in dark moments, we're all entitled for a greater or different belief. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. I think Judge Foster, did you want to add to that? If you would come up.
Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name is Jeff Foster. I am the Senior Resident Superior Court Judge of Judicial District 3, which encompasses Pitt County. I want to thank Commissioner Brown for inviting me to come out tonight and for all of you to take a moment, let me speak, and share my thoughts on this decision you will make. And then I want to just, if I could, give a brief update on just generally what's going on at the courthouse and what we're doing to see that justice without favor, denial, or delay is being provided to the citizens of Pitt County, as is mandated by our state constitution. Serving as one of two Superior Court judges in our county, together with Judge Marvin Blunt, has been the high honor and privilege of my 34-year legal career. My purpose in being invited here today is to comment on the request to place In God We Trust in the superior courtrooms in our courthouse. Our nation was built on Judeo-Christian principles. Witnesses in our courts swear to tell the truth, so help me God. The oath I took as a judge incorporated "so help me God" numerous times. Much of our criminal code incorporates the tenets of the Ten Commandments, and our currency has "In God We Trust" prominently placed. President Reagan stated that the motto "In God We Trust" reflects a basic recognition that there is a divine authority in the universe to which we owe homage. And President Kennedy so eloquently stated in his 1961 inaugural address that the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. In God We Trust is the official motto of the United States, and I strongly feel it's fully proper for it to be displayed tastefully in our superior courtrooms in Pitt County. I respectfully ask that you authorize this change and allow the phrase "In God We Trust" to be incorporated into our courtrooms as a reminder to all the providence of God, which inspired the greatest system of justice man has ever assembled. Additionally, if I may take a moment, I'm also pleased to be able to report to you that the criminal and civil courts in Pitt County are functioning well. Under the leadership of Chief District Court Judge Galen Brady, District Attorney Ferris Dixon, Clerk of Court Sarah Beth Rhodes, and Public Defender Burt Kemp, our criminal courts have moved forward after the implementation of the Odyssey electronic record system, and we are fortunately back up to pre-Odyssey levels of cases being calendared. No small task. While everyone has worked extremely hard to make that happen, I must call attention to the incredible efforts of our Clerk of Court's office. Under difficult deadlines and a tremendous learning curve, these folks got us up and running and keep us operating smoothly under this new system. Sarah Beth and her staff deserve great credit and our appreciation for their hard work and dedication. I also want to bring to your attention the fact that we have a Veterans Court that has begun in Pitt County. Toby Bellamy is heading up our Veterans Court. We have been meeting regularly. We have identified our initial class of clients in the Veterans Court, and we're beginning to serve that group. Even as I speak, things are working out, and we're going to be holding court sessions beginning the first of year in Veterans Court. It's a great court. Our veterans have sacrificed so much for us, and they need our help sometimes, and this is a way to provide them help, and I'm just incredibly proud that we're getting the opportunity to do that for our veterans. I'm working with all the stakeholders in criminal court to meaningfully reduce the number of pending cases. We have a lot of older cases, most of which are murders or serious sex offenses. The district attorney's office has made it a priority to resolve these older cases, and we're having real success in those efforts. In fact, today we resolved 2 of the oldest murder cases in Pitt County with pleas during our wrap-up session of Superior Court, our last session of the year. Judge Galen Brady and I have updated our bond policy to reflect the legislation recently passed as Arena's Law and have adjusted recommended bond amounts as guidance to our magistrates. We will continue to work to make our bond policies fair to defendants and to ensure defendants are in attendance in court and that the community is safe. Recently, we had surveyors from the North Carolina Sheriff's Association come and perform a review of the security procedures and equipment at the courthouse. The last survey occurred in 2012 under Judge Duke. I have concerns about the safety of our team based on the number of cameras we have that no longer function, and the areas where cameras have never been installed, and the lack of lighting in parking lots utilized by judges, DAs, and clerks. Courthouse violence is a very real issue, and I never want it to strike here. Sheriff Dance and I have discussed this issue, and at my request, she immediately got the survey scheduled. She has been actively involved in the process, and I'm grateful to her efforts in that regard. She also provides us with some of the best bailiffs in the state, so we're very fortunate there. We have just received the results of the survey. I have not had a chance to look at it yet, but I hope that we can, after reviewing it, come to you and seek your help to improve the safety of our courthouse for the great people who work there, as well as the thousands of citizens who visit the courthouse each week. I want to especially thank Tim Corley and Madam County Manager for their work in helping to bring this to fruition. That's a very brief summary of what's happening at your courthouse. I want to thank each of you for providing us with this wonderful facility where we work. People from all over the state look at our Superior Courtroom number 1 and comment it's one of the most beautiful in the state. I've held court in 45 counties so far, and I can tell you it's true. It is. I appreciate the support you give us. I'm available to any of you at any time to discuss any issue that comes to your attention. County Manager has my phone number, and you can get it. On behalf of everyone who works at the Pitt County Courthouse, thank you for all you do for us, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Judge Foster. We appreciate all the work you and your colleagues do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'll open up the floor for any discussion on the request by Commissioner Brown. Any comments, any discussion? Okay. Commissioner McLaughlin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've received several calls on this. I think it was in the paper. And some of these calls were very concerning. In principle,
Commissioner, is your microphone on? If you would, turn that on.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
Again, thank you. I received several calls from this issue. In principle, it was stated that this sounds good, it sounds great, but in practice, it has not been fulfilled. Blacks and other minorities are not treated in the same manner in the court system, the judicial system, as non-black. One person stated to me that money talk rather than justice being served fairly in the court system. So these and other has been brought to my attention, and so at this time, Mr. Chairman, I can't support changing this to this. Now, I was told that there could be another name, but if you keep saying in God we trust, some of the other Muslims and other religious organizations have said, well, why can't they use their terminology? And so it can go on and on. So at this point, I'm not in favor of supporting this action. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. I do disagree with you because this country was not built on Muslims. This country was built on Christianity. Any other discussion amongst members of the board? Commissioner Nunley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I want to thank Judge Foster for being here and Commissioner Brown for her thoughtful proposal. I think I'll echo the sentiment of many members of the bar that we are lucky in Pitt County that we have such a fantastic courthouse. Staff, attorneys, judges, it really is top and a top-notch operation and working every day to make sure that justice is served as it should be. I do want to have some extended comment on this, because I think that it does raises to the surface something that's very sensitive to a lot of us, especially for those of us that are faithful and that hold religion close to their hearts. But I think primarily in thinking about this, I like to look to the reason for the founding of our country, just as it's been referenced tonight, and I respectfully may disagree about the reason for our country's founding. And the courthouse is, for some of us, the scariest, most nerve-wracking, most consequential place that we'll encounter, a direct encounter with government that'll have a direct influence on our liberties and our freedoms. And for that, it has a very, an outsized place in a lot of people's hearts and minds. And because of that, it's my view that it is absolutely imperative that the courthouse and its walls and everything that's before it reflect that impartiality. And that we don't do anything to upset that balance. I have in my mind, as a student of the law, that the Lady Justice statue with the blindfold, with the scales of justice, that justice is in fact blind. Our founders warned that even symbolic governmental endorsement of state religion corrupts fairness. Before the law, it creates de facto perception of inequality for people that may feel different than those in the majority or in power, and leads to social distrust in critical moments of civil and criminal adjudication. And so while it may seem like a small deal, it is, in my view, a tremendous deal and one of the reasons for the founding of our country. But I'm not going to use my words, I'm going to use the founders' words. The founders explicitly intended a strict separation of church and state. Thomas Jefferson, in a letter to the Danbury Baptists in 1802, referenced building a wall between church and state. And a wall in this context is not anti-religion. It was, and in fact, a lot of the founders, as a lot of people will say, were Christian. But it is, that wall allows there to be a coexisting of religious faith of the person and neutrality in government. James Madison in 1785 wrote that religion is wholly exempt from cognizance of civil government. That means that your government ought not and should not get into the business of telling you what you believe. Our founders took that very seriously, placing a motto with which I think we would not debate, has a clear Christian message for some, no doubt one of hope and reverence, violates that rule of neutrality. What is sound beliefs for one ought not to be imposed on the unwilling. For the sake of our liberties, one does not choose to go to court. We are there by directive. Advocating for a certain type of morality may be an evangelical imperative in our own personal lives, but doing so through the levers of government, no matter how subtle, is inappropriate and incompatible with a free society. The founders believed that elevating religion in the judiciary corrupts religion and justice. James Madison wrote again in 1817 that the union in government and religion tends to destroy government and degrade religion. Thomas Paine, a very thoughtful philosopher upon which a lot of our founding documents were based on, wrote in The Rights of Man in 1791 that persecution is not an original feature of any religion, but it is always the strongly marked feature of all religions established by law. That truth holds true today as it did then. Wars, civil unrest, and countless injustices have been front and center of government campaigns to clean up, better a people, all in the name of a God. The government of the United States necessarily stays out of this, thus positioning our people, all of us, to rigorously practice our individual belief systems and belief traditions without government intervention. Government neutrality allows religion to flourish, not the other way around. Neutrality at the courthouse ensures all who enter trust that they will get a fair shake according to the law of the people. Religious symbolism in that room creates tension and potential distrust about the court's impartiality. The idea of American democracy rejected the idea of religious government. America in itself was founded in response to the governments of Europe, who leveraged the moral authority of a religion granted by a religious tradition to infringe on its public's liberties. Thomas Jefferson was quoted on the state of Virginia that gave him no injury for my neighbor to say there are 20 gods or no gods. In the Treaty of Tripoli, signed by a very devout John Adams, that treaty stated unequivocally that the government of the United States is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. George Washington stated on occasion that among Americans there may be Muslim, Jews, or Christians of any sect, and that the government of the United States gives to bigotry no sanction, to persecution no assistance. Courthouse displays are government speech, and therefore should be entirely neutral and free from religious reference. The courthouse must feel equally accessible and neutral to all that sit before them. Any chance that a person before one of our courts feels that our court is aligned with one particular set of religious beliefs is a chance too many. Courthouse messaging neutrality ensures that all before it, believers, different believers, and non-believers, all alike, are in a position to rightfully judge the judiciary's fairness and any justice rendered by it on its merits. A vote today against displaying "In God We Trust" is a vote in affirming constitutional integrity and civic fairness. While it may seem like a small thing, it's on our money after all. It is not so small in this context. Allowing the display is in direct opposition to the principles of liberty our founders knew so critical that they were compelled, through sober reason, to restrain the very government they were founding from interfering into a realm which rightfully is private and personal in nature. Our First Amendment requires a vote against the display. Our republic requires we recommit to ensuring the liberty of all of our neighbors, regardless of their background or faith tradition, by upholding our oath to the Constitution today by that vote. That is no small thing. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Manning?
I had a whole lot to say also, but I don't think I can improve on what Commissioner Nunley has said. I do have some concern that, and I know you echoed the fact about our heritage, and I agree. I'm a Christian, and I feel on both sides of the issue. But I also am aware that we are a diverse society, and there are many people in our community that do not come up from a Christian or Judeo-Christian heritage. And I'm concerned about how those people might feel or affected, because the only comments I've received since this hit the news were people who were against placing the motto in the courthouse. So my thought was, if we are to proceed, that have we, and I guess this is a question more, has the Interfaith Council been involved in thinking through this and to get some input from the other, I mean, have we done that? Maybe we should do that if we're not, before we jump too quickly into something that we might regret. involve the Ministers Association, the interfaith, because I know there's an interfaith council among different religions. And maybe involve them in the discussion so that we can make but I echo Mr. Nunley's comments. I think he's right on point with that. Thank you very much.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner Brown, do you want to put that into a motion tonight?
Before we have a motion, I'd like to express my feelings.
Go ahead.
In my household, my parents was religious. I was brought, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll start again. In my household, I was born within a religion. My parents, my mother and father was religious people. So that is an ingrainment in which I have within me. Do unto the others that you would have them to do unto you. Treat your first one right, and you do wrong, you wrong. Thou shalt not steal, kill, nor do anything to destroy your character. I have no problem with the use of God. You can call your God whatever you want to call it. It is your God. I came up in a society or in a place at school when we talked about Judea religion and the various evidence in sociology of I can't even say the word, but it starts with an M. It's in all of our books. Now, I have no problems personally with God. So I don't care where the name is, what it is, or who it represents. To me, everyone has a God. God to you may be God for anything. I have no problem with it. And I don't care. It's on every piece of money I have. Y'all get rid of your money then. Hand it here, I'll take it. It's on every piece of paper that's made for money that I've seen in this country. I don't see them saying they don't want to spend it. It was in some time in my education that the Pledge of Allegiance, God was inserted. Nobody said a thing about it. Put God wherever you want to. Just act godly. And the decisions are made from within the character of the person who's ruling. So, Joy, you can say whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to. But you should live on your godly principles. You can put it up there as far as I'm concerned. I will vote for it. I am not going to kill anything that my parents have brought me up with. I am pleased with who I am as a person. And I'm not going to mistreat you because you call your God Jehovah. Because my mother's sister was a, what's that field or religion? What's that called? Oh,
Jehovah's Witness?
Huh?
Jehovah's Witness.
Jehovah's Witness. We have them in my family. We have some other things in my family. But none of us had a problem with the use of God. I will vote for it. I want you to know I will. But I wanted you to know how I felt as a person. That's what I will be voting on. And I see some people out here that I've known on the last name all my life, Henry. And I'm going to tell you, I will be voting for it based on my character of how I was brought up. All of those things in the Bible apply to us as a people. I ought to treat you how you treat me. You treat me with disgust, I'm going to treat you with disgust. If you are nice and kind to me, I'm going to treat you nice and kind. And it doesn't have to deal with race. It doesn't have to deal with anything but feelings and humanity. That's the way I see it. And I'm saying it strongly. And I'm not backing up about it because I feel too strong about this. So I don't care what you say about me. I don't care how you feel about me. Because I do a lot of stuff as a county commissioner. And every now and then I don't think I do anything, but when I look at these proclamations and all this sort of stuff, it brought tears to my eyes because I do work for the people. This is a job that I have dedicated after I retired from being an employee. This is a job that I have decided that I would do to share with my community, who consists of all of them that y'all talked about, on whatever side it is. I share it with them. They don't all look like, well, they don't all look like us on this board. And I'm going to talk my English like I want to say it today. All kinds of people voted for me. And I'm going to vote for whatever they live. And they are all nice. It's not by black, not by white, and not by female. And I have said that on this board. You can be pink with polka dotted behinds. It's a God somewhere. And you can call him whatever you want to, but you can put it wherever you want to. Your life has nothing to do with how I live, and I try to do the best I can. I'm not perfect, and I don't profess to be perfect, but this is my sermon. I have not heard anybody call me, and I tell you, I got the busiest body group of people, the largest area, the poorest area, and the most widest playing landmass in this county, 233 square miles. And I have said a lot of things to a lot of them over there, and they look other folks other than what we see on this dais. And they don't get insulted by what I say, and they just laugh and go on. And we respect each other as human beings. That's our God. The humanity of mankind we shall have. So you can put it wherever you want to. But that judge should rule from his heart. I don't know what color the heart is, but I hope it's a good one. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman.
Did I say my
Commissioner?
daddy was a preacher? And my mother?
We left that
I
part
want
out.
you to know that. I want you to know that. My daddy was a preacher, and we did some preaching. Every school I went in made us say something that had to do with the Bible. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Floyd Huggins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really, this is something that, well, I'm Christian too. And I believe that there should be a separation of state and, but I think I'm kind of like Commissioner Matt down here. I think we need to talk about this more. I don't think we need to rush it tonight. As he said, the faith community, or even more people from the courthouse. You know, we thank you, Judge, for coming, bringing us an update on what's happening at the courthouse. But I would think that more people from the courthouse would be here tonight to also offer their comments. So I think more discussion needs to happen on this. And it's under the item of items for discussion. So that means that it does not have to happen tonight. Sometime you need to sleep on a decision before you make it. And this is one I think all 9 of us should sleep on it. Yeah. Ask your fellow man, you know. Yes, people who go into the courthouse, they are there for a reason. And it's not a good reason most of the time. But I don't believe putting this in the courtrooms will convert them at that particular time that they are there. And I believe that would be the intention of that, helping them to change their way of life, you know. So I'm in favor of more discussion of this, Commissioner Brown. I would appreciate that. More comments from our citizens, not just from your district, but from districts across Pitt County before we make this decision. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Weaver?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Judge Foster, for coming, and also Roy. I'm a Christian, and I understand how people may interpret this in a courtroom as being offensive. Don't know how, but I'll say I agree with you. I was sent an email saying, what if we wanted to put in Allah we trust? Well, I'm not Muslim. I'm Christian. And I believe this country was founded on Christian fundamentals, and it was funded by God. So therefore, I am in favor of it, and I understand we want to have more discussion. But there's 71 counties that display it in North Carolina, 71. That says a lot to me right there, that there's 71 counties that have looked at it and displayed it. So, Mr. Chairman, I understand other members may want to discuss it at this time. I'm going to make a motion that we put in God we trust in the Pitt County Superior Court rooms.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
I
Do
will
hear a
second.
Have a motion and a second to display this in the Superior Court rooms.
Mr. Chair, I have a substitute motion to table discussion for a first meeting in January.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to table this. Let's vote on that. Motion and a second to table this.
A yes vote will mean to
A
take.
yes vote would be to table it. Somebody has not voted. Commissioner Weaver? Okay, so that motion failed, so we're back to the motion to approve this motto being displayed in Superior Court rooms. Let's vote. So a yes vote would be to display In God We Trust. Okay, that motion passed. We look forward to seeing that in our courtrooms. All right, moving on to items for decision. We have supplemental funding for Pitt County Council on Aging. Janice or Commissioner Brown, who wants to start that?
Yeah, I'll start this and then turn it over to Commissioner Brown if she has anything. At your at an earlier meeting, you had discussion about where the board heard about a backlog in Meals on Wheels recipients with our Council on Aging and the cost to fund those meals, which are roughly $1,690 for a year. You also heard that there was a going forward in our lawn service contract that we were no longer able to fund lawn service for the Council on Aging. And as a result, they would have a shortfall in their budget. The board, Commissioner Brown brought this item forward for the board to consider as a matter of decision, allocating an additional $16,900 to fund 10 people off the wait list for Meals on Wheels, which is an allowable purpose in funding for a sustaining agency, and as set forth in your materials, has identified a source of funding, that being the savings that resulted when we bid out the lawn service contract, would allow sufficient funds to make this allocation. I've not said that as eloquently as Commissioner Brown would have, so we'll turn it to her if she has anything to add, as she requested this item be added.
Thank you, Madam Manager, for that. You did wonderful. And I would just like to reiterate that these are not new funds, that this would just be a reallocation of what was already spent in this, so to the surplus, to go ahead and assist those 10 individuals. Other than that, I do not have anything to add.
Okay, any discussion? Commissioner Brown, you going to put that into a motion?
Commissioner Nunley.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Nunley, I missed you
No,
down
that's
there.
fine.
My apologies.
I was just going to be in the position of supporting Commissioner Brown. No, I think this is, I think we discussed it in open session last time. I think this is a good way to move, so I'll, if Commissioner Brown would like to make the motion, I'll second it.
I would like to make the motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. We've got,
I did hear it.
there you go. Okay, moving on to the second item, appointments, reappointments to the Fire District Commission. Jay Morris.
Yes, Mr. Manager, you have, beginning on page 85 in your packet, the list of appointments and reappointments for the Fire District Commission for your consideration.
Can I ask a question on this?
Yes.
May I, rather?
Yes,
I want
ma'am.
to get back to my good English. May I ask a question on this? Thank you. That's a lot of names. And as you all know, I like to have my district represented with OC. And I didn't have time to look at them, all of the nominations, but I want to reserve the privilege so that my district fire, because this is a serious matter. You're talking about people's homes and lives, and I like for every district to have the reasonable representation. And I know we have some volunteers and some this and some that. And if my district is lacking anyway, I'd like very much to find someone to be on this board so that we're represented. I could not tell at the way these names was listed over here on this side. I could tell the names of the municipality or the area or the township. I could tell that, and I see that they are there. But if not, I like to talk with the chiefs who hold that position for some reason. I like to reserve the privilege to make an adjustment if necessary. Not that I will, but if necessary, please. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Did I say too much?
So do you want to table this?
I don't want table.
Okay.
I just want to make my district even with having the representative they need. Because you can have names up here that may not live in that particular township. You know what I'm saying? And I like to check with the chief of that to make sure they are in the township. Because it means something when somebody coming to put out your fire. You know, it means something.
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman,
Weaver, yes.
Ms. Perkins, I believe that if you read it, it's the fire chief that recommended these. It says it in it, and and so I believe the fire chief of Bethel would have had a say-so in the picking of the
The
budget.
township now, not just.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The fire chief, yes, ma'am.
Because I had a lot on me this past weekend, and there was a lot of them, so, thank you.
Okay.
If what you're saying is fine, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, so what's the pleasure of the board?
I make a motion that we go along with it.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Let's vote. Okay, thank you. And number 3, appointments, reappointments to the local Firemen's Relief Fund Board.
Yes, on page 95, you have the recommended appointments to the, and reappointments to the local Firemen's Relief Board. They are also selected and recommended by each department and are listed as a cross-section throughout the county. Each department has folks from their area.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. Please vote. Okay, we are down to commissioner comments. I started on my left last meeting, so I'll start on my right with Commissioner Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have a closing statement. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to all of my fellow commissioners for the healthy dialogue regarding today's agenda and to all of those that brought that to me. Second of all, I would like to just add a thank you to Janice and our county management team for providing the budgeting in North Carolina materials that they had passed out to us and taking the time to kind of walk us through that framework. The clarity and context were extremely helpful as we continue to evaluate how we fund our priorities, our responsibilities, and sustainability in our education system. So given the needs presented by our Board of Education, which was given by the Board of Education to the county commissioners to include a 5-year financial projection of which was around $758 million, I do believe. It's important that we align our funding approach with a mechanism that allows for greater precision, structure, and accountability. So for that reason, I would just like to vocally say that I'm supportive of moving forward a functions-based funding model rather than relying solely on the uniform chart of accounts that we have currently been doing. This approach better aligns our systems. It improves our ability to forecast accurately and allows us to address future needs in a more intentional and measurable way. So my support comes for basically the desire to strengthen our relationships among the Board of Education and the Board of Commissioners. For all parties, all positions to respond responsibly to the next budget cycle. So I would just like to take this time to thank Dr. Lassiter, his team, as well as the Pitt County Board of Education for highlighting the path that we need to be prepared for moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner
you.
Brown. Commissioner Perkin-Williams.
I'm not gonna preach. Wait my thing here. I'm not gonna preach. I've delivered my sermon for tonight. But I do have some notes here that as I want to say as the liaison person to the Department of Social Services representing this board, I would like to thank the faith, the community, and all of the organizations that came together during SNAP. Because oftentimes, the community is not recognized for what it does. And they were there, and we, even though the budget came out and everything, I want to thank each and every organization and person who appeared and went along with helping feed our people. And it wasn't about any particular whatever. It was about feeding the people, humanity. That's number one. Number two, I'm sorry that the representative for Pastor Rosa O'Neill was gone right now, because my comment deals with that proclamation. During the COVID, and I pay attention to a lot of things. My district is 233 square miles, one of the poorest but largest one in the county. And I got that from I get my information of value from those people who handle it every day in that planning department. So if I'm wrong, they just school me right, correct me. Rosa O'Neill came during COVID. Her and her administration and her team came to District 2 during COVID. And she's retiring now. But they came and brought their resources at the beginning of Old River Road, and I'd like to thank them. So this is a minister who has given of her all without asking and without a situation. She came, and I would like to thank her, and I hope that even though she's not pastoring, she keeps her spiritual guide on her congregation and the ministers that lead the people. So I just want to thank her for coming to our area with foots on the ground and the shoes on the blankets and in the boxes. They were shoes of all sizes, and I never have thanked her because I was looking for seeing what more she would do. That was unique, and I was highly pleased. And as the person who was over there at that time, I want to thank her and her congregation as well as her leadership for doing a heartfelt service for the people, and she came to our district and spread the blanket. So that said something for her, and the people shared it with me, and I wanted to say that. Thank you, Pastor Rosa O'Neill, for the spiritual guidance you do in every aspect of life for the citizen in Pitt County. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm finished.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Holloman.
I'm not gonna try to follow that up.
Well, you couldn't.
No, especially I don't have the Christmas trees. But I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But go on.
Thank you. Commissioner Manning.
Thanks, sir. I just want to mention that I appreciate the increase for the Council on Aging. I represent this board on that board, and I think there's like 100-some people on the waiting list. So I'm glad to get that piece out of the way, but I hope that we can think about maybe what more we can do when we get into the budget year next year, because there are a lot of the people out there that need help, and the Council on Aging does a great service for our elderly shut-ins. And as I've said before, in many cases, they're helping people stay within their home in lieu of it more expensive care that they would get somewhere else. So it's like a cost-saving type of thing. But anyway, thank you for getting that done tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Manning. Commissioner Nunley.
No comment, thank you.
Commissioner Floyd Huggins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do want to, first of all, say Merry Christmas to everybody. But I want to bring you up to date or give you an update on our Association of the County Commissioners District Board of Directors meeting we had Thursday, December the 11th. You know, we have a new building now, and so we got an update on how that's coming along with the designs and all that. And the next thing we did, we have been working on a strategic plan. That we have the final draft on that. It's a one-page strategic plan. And I want to tell you what the vision is. The vision is empowering 100 counties to work together for the betterment of one state. And the strategy statement is to be the voice, convener, and champion for counties, ensuring that North Carolina thrives now and in the future. So there's 5 pillars to this draft. And they are stand up and speak for counties, convene to learn, strengthen county workforce, include every county, and increase organization resilience. These are the 5 pillars to this new strategic plan for the next 5 years for this Association of North Carolina County Commissioners.
Thank you for that update, Commissioner Floyd Huggins. Commissioner McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to just wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a happy, prosperous New Year.
Okay, Commissioner Weaver.
Yes, sir. I first want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, but I also want to give thanks to people that really don't get it, and that's those department heads and their employees sitting out there, because they do a lot. And I was speaking with a gentleman today, and I said, I need to call somebody after he said to a mother figure. So I called our county manager, Miss Gallagher here. That's what I'm referring to you as now, the mother figure. And I had a question, and I was calling her. But I want to wish everybody, all the commissioners, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And remember what this time of year is really about. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Thank you. Madam Manager, do you have anything in closing?
One clarification, in hearing Commissioner Brown's comments on school funding, we have traditionally awarded school funding on a lump sum basis. What she's referring to is the ability to sort of shift that to enhance transparency by working through a budget on a purpose and function basis, which allocates money to a uniform chart of accounts and shows how that money is spending. My understanding is that is how the School Board of Education already puts their funds together. We have the wonderful benefit of our new Chief Financial Officer having in-depth knowledge of school funding. So it would probably be a bigger shift on our end than it would be on the school's end. But having heard comments of this board through our strategic plan discussions and having heard the conversation this evening, I would just seek direction if you want me to shift to that model, which is what I would recommend we do, or if you want me to bring that back for further discussion by the board.
I'd like to see it come back because, you know, what I found that time in Pactos bothered me. But I'd like to see it come
How
back.
about you just bring that back in January?
I
That
will.
work? Okay.
And help further explain how that would impact things. I'd be glad to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, great. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Thank you to our Pitt County team. You guys are awesome. You do a great job, and it's why we live in a great county. We have a closed session to go into, so I'll entertain a motion to go into closed
And a
session.
happy new year. Let's go into closed session.
Mr.
So
Chair.
motion.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, if I could read the statement.
Please read it. I'm sorry. I'm about to leave you out.
It's been suggested this body go into closed session under 143, 318, 1A1 to prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged or confidential. A3, to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege, which privilege is hereby acknowledged. And A5, to establish or instruct the public body, staff, or negotiating agents concerning the position to be taken on the acquisition of real property.
Thank you, Matt. You want us to vote on that, don't you? Yep, we got a motion and a second. Please vote. We'll take a couple of minutes here and we'll start back once we clear it out.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion. And this is regarding the mega site, that we authorize you, Commissioner Smith, Chair, to execute the option agreement recommended by our Economic Development Director, including parcels 01697, parcel 27571, parcel 57818, parcel 16403, parcel 57817, parcel 40475, parcel 28076, parcel 23227, and a portion of parcel 24244.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor.
I'll second, but not all those numbers anyway.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Let's vote. Got one more. Who is it? All righty. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Brown?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the closed session minutes of December 1st, please.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve December minutes. Okay, and that passed. Does anybody want to stay any longer and have more discussion?
I'd like to offer a motion that we go home.
Got a motion and a second to end this meeting. Chris, you're not going to vote? I knew you would.
Go. It's cold.
Ooh.